So we covered, let's see, last time we got through some of the topical ways to use oils. But we didn't get through all of the topical. Previously, what we did, like in Fearless One, we started with kind of like, you got your kit now, what do I do with it? And then we talked about the mindset shift that's taking place with you as you learn more about oils and natural living and all the things that, toxins around us are doing to our bodies. And that's changing our perspective on things. So then we talked about how to play with your oils, aromatic uses. And then in Fearless 2, we talked a little bit more about aromatic uses, and we started topical uses, which included where to put your oils 101, layering and blending, what's the difference and why. And then we started talking a little bit, I think, about how to use oils around the house. So we are going to talk more about massage. How many of you were at the raindrop classes? We had Raindrop Explained that Michelle taught, and then there was the Raindrop masterclass. Did anybody go to the masterclass? That was so good. It was really good. And then, okay, great. Yes, Charlie was there for the Raindrop Explained. And then I did the Raindrop demo, and that was powerful. It was so good. It was so gracious of or brave of Asri to be the client and to just kind of let things go. She has told me that she felt better and slept better than she has in a long time. So that's a blessing. Hi, Pam. Pam is here. Woo, Stacy. Yes, she saw the message that she won. All right. So now we're going to go and finish up on topical uses. And we're going to cover a little bit about internal use, emotional use, and I'm going to give you 78 quick tips for using all of the oils in a premium starter bundle. And then we're going to talk about expert, like how to become an expert. Okay, so you've gotten this far. Do you feel like you're an expert yet? All right. Okay, my slide switched. Okay, let's go into massage. I know some of you already participated in Raindrop. Raindrop is a very specific technique, but you don't have to know Raindrop in order to just do massage. So if you are putting an oil in a diffuser, that can be very relaxing, right? Imagine how it feels on the skin. Gary Young created half a dozen different massage blends. Do you all know that there are massage oils? There are several of them, all different kinds. We have a whole massage class that's not Raindrop that'll be coming up in the future. So that's a couple months out or so. I'll have to go look at the list, but just keep coming to Wellness Wednesdays, all right? If you are a massage therapist and you're watching this, you're not going to be super impressed with those massage techniques. Raindrop, maybe. And yes, if you're a massage therapist, you can do Raindrop, but you need training. I have worked with several massage therapists, and they are trained to do exactly opposite of what we do in Raindrop. So you do need training for that to make sure that you, if you're going to incorporate it into your practice. If you are, at home with your family, you can do this. This is okay. You can do Raindrop. You can do regular massage. So this type of massage here is just kind of a housewife addition to how to apply oils. All right, so start by putting just 2 drops of a single oil on location and massage the oil into the skin. If we're using oils topically, we've done that already, right? Just put a couple drops, rub it in wherever. That's the basics of massage. Super easy, right? So if you're working on a large area like the back, that's when you're going to want to use some carrier oil. And if you want to make your own massage oil, then you would get some carrier oil and put like 20 to 30 drops in that. So, and that would be like, actually 20 to 30 drops in, I don't know how much carrier oil. You see what works for you. Okay. So try it like 10 drops in like a quarter of, like a tablespoon. Well, just, I always say like quarter size, whatever fits right here. then put like 5 to 10 drops. If you're using peppermint, that might be all you need. If you're using some other oils, then you may need more. So just try it out and see what works for you, what feels good. I used to massage, like rub my son's body down when he was running a fever. I would put some carrier oil, usually it was like coconut oil, in my hand, and I would put some peppermint in there, and I would just rub down his whole trunk, his back and his tummy, and it would start helping the body to cool down a little bit. And it was very soothing for him. So let's see. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. I'm a little clunky right here. Huh? Okay. So just as with massage, you can use essential oils with other modalities like acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractic, and reflexology. For acupuncture, does anybody do that? Anybody had gone to an acupuncture appointment? I've never done that, never had needles stuck in my skin. So I don't know. I'm not sure what that's like. It seems a little scary to me, but I've heard some really good response to it. So what you would do is you would ask a licensed practitioner to dip the needle into the oil, spin it clockwise 3 times before inserting the needle so that the electrical charge of the needle matches the frequency of the oil. Isn't that interesting? Okay, what about acupressure? For acupressure, you're going to apply the oils to your fingers first. And if you're looking at the picture, it's the picture on the bottom. So picture of acupuncture is on the top there. Picture on the bottom is acupressure. So that is just, there's pressure points. And they usually will use an auricular probe. It's basically a glass stick with a pointed end. So you would want them to put the oils on first with their fingers, and then they can use their probe, touching the slender point of the probe to the area where they're working. And so they'll know how to do that. You'll just ask them, like, can you apply the oil first? If you are doing it, if you know anything about this, or if you're learning how to do it, you're just going to want to avoid applying pressure for too long in that area. And if you're not sure where to apply, take a look at the VitaFlex or reflexology charts. We sent those to everybody that participated in the Raindrop Live demo that we did last week, and you can use those points. Otherwise, let me know that you'd like that chart and I can get that to you. And just so you know, I'm not a massage therapist or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor. It's likely that you're not either. So seek out the person with the background that you desire and ask them to add the oils into their technique. You might be surprised how many practitioners have no problem with integrating essential oils at all. So I didn't mention chiropractic as like what to do. They would apply oil along the spine that they're going to, in the area that they're going to work on. Usually Valor is one, it's like a chiropractor favorite. So I've heard it called chiropractor in a bottle because of that. I've heard them say, just breathe it in and your back will self-adjust. Okay, not true necessarily, maybe. Depends on the person, each person, right? But you can have them apply that before working in a specific area. All right, so hot and cold packs. Okay, so hot pack, it allows for deeper penetration of essential oils. So it drives it into the tissue. So first you're going to put some oils into the area that you want it to be, and then you're going to dip get like a hot damp cloth and wring it out, and then put it on top of the essential oils on wherever you put that on the body. And then you're going to cover it up with a dry towel so that it kind of seals the area, the heat, and drives it in. You can do this like 1 to 3 times daily. This is actually what really sold my husband on essential oils. It no longer was witchcraft. It was suddenly magic. So he had a problem where he had pulled a muscle in his back. I layered on oils. I mentioned this in one of the other Fearless ones. I think it was Fearless 2. I layered on Panaway, Valor, and Copaiba. Actually, I didn't layer Copaiba because we didn't have it yet. That's the one that I would have layered on top of that because it enhances the effect of the oil. And then put the warm damp cloth on it and the dry towel on that drives it all in deep because muscle stuff is deep. So you need those oils to penetrate deep. And sometimes with those kind of injuries, if the doctor says that it's okay to alternate or suggest alternating heat with cold, then it's good to do that. So you put that on there until the warm one until it cools down, and then you can alternate by putting an ice pack on there. So another option for a heat pack is to just fill a sock with rice and warm it up in the oven for a few minutes or the microwave. Just get it warm and then place it on the desired location. So you can even make this simpler by using a hot pad. All right, so going back to cold packs, why would we do that? The cold packs are really good for inflammation, like inflamed, swollen areas. And if you have like a mild backache or a twinged muscle or something, this is really soothing. You can who grabs a bag of frozen peas? The frozen peas are so nice because it just like fits right anywhere you put it. It just fits right into everything. So grab that from your freezer, use that, or fill a Ziploc bag with ice and wrap it in a dish towel and apply that. So you make sure that you have it all sealed up so nothing leaks, because that's not as fun. So if you're dealing with anything neurological like a mild headache, then always use a cold pack, not a hot one. All right, what about taking a bath? Who likes hot baths? Do you like hot baths? I like hot baths, but I would like to have that bathtub. It looks super cozy. So this is a topical use of oils because your skin is soaking the oily bath water in. So you get to soak in the bath water. Adding the oils to the water is a little bit challenging because water and oil don't mix. So how do you get those to blend together? Well, you add a few drops of water to your bath, and then you put 2 cups of Epsom salt. It could be more or less. That's generally what we do is 2 cups. And then if you don't have Epsom salt, then you could use any like Young Living bath gel. We have lots of different bath gels. I just got one. It's bath and shower gel. I usually have I think it's called morning mist. Is that what it's called?
It's fun.
The bath gel, shower gel? Is it morning
start?
Morning start. I was thinking Meadow Mist. That was the deodorant. Yeah, Meadow Start, or Morning Start.
Morning start.
That's the one that I usually use, but they were out of it. So I got Sensation for the first time, and it smells really nice. So I'm liking that one. But you can put that in the bathtub, and the essential oils will also disperse with that. So those are some options. You don't want to just put essential oil in the bath because it'll sit on the top. And if you're doing something like putting pan away, like one of my customers did a while back, she's like, hey, don't put pan away in the bath water. I'm like, well, what happened? She's like, well, when I lowered down, some sensitive areas got really, really hot. Like, oh, did you put any Epsom salt in there? No. Okay. So she's like, I will never do that again. I will always use Epsom salt in the future. Yes, very good, Leslie. In the lymphatic cleanse, they recommend putting the oil right on the Epsom salt and then put into the water. Okay, the oils mix better. Good suggestion there. All right. So I saw that Chris hopped in here for a minute. I don't know if he's still here. It's hard for me to tell who's here because the comments in the Facebook Live, they take a while to pop up. Okay, so adding oils to your bath water is very relaxing. Depending on how strong the oil is, I'll put as much as 10 to 20 drops with my Epsom salt. All right. So what oils? So a lot of people will ask me, but what oils do I use? So here's a list of suggested oils. These are some of my favorites. Lemon, Valor, frankincense, Stress Away. I really like Stress Away in my bath. Northern Lights Black Spruce is amazing, but I don't use that very often in there just because Tom uses it and we use it up pretty quick. Cardamom, I haven't used that in my bath, but that's a suggestion. Tangerine, lime, bergamot, those are your citrus oils. If you do that, just make sure that you're not going to be out in this like completely exposed in the sun for the next like 24 hours or so, because the citrus oils are, remember, they enhance the effects of the sun, so you don't want to do that. Raven is really good, like if you're having some respiratory stuff going on or sore muscles. Raven is really good in the water for that. Ylang ylang, good hormone balancing. It smells like flowers. And then highest potential is a really good one. So I usually use one oil at a time. I don't usually mix them up in the bath. I just like one single or one blend. So now that gives you express permission to go ahead and take 12 baths at least. Try one with each oil and see what you like. Crank the heat of the water to what you can stand, add the oils and the Epsom salt, and then sink into the water for about 20 minutes or 40 if you're doing the lymphatic challenge. And it'll really feel like you paid $100 for a massage for just a few bucks. All right, what about hot showers? You can also put oils in your shower. Have you tried that before? So sometimes, you'd love to take a bath, but you don't have time. So you can have a similar effect in the shower. I will usually do that whenever I'm having respiratory stuff and I don't want to go and soak right now. I might put some like eucalyptus oil in kind of the area of the shower where it's not just going to be washed down the drain. So, but it can be in there like with the steam and everything, and it smells really good. So you're not going to get the benefits of the oil getting into the skin as effectively, but you're going to have the aromatic benefits of that. So if you didn't know, Young Living also carries these, what are they called? They're like shower bombs. Those little shower things that you put in the bottom of the tub, the shower.
Oh,
yeah. Shower melt, something like that. So they're like bath bombs, but they're little kind of flat and you put it in the shower on the floor. So that's really cool. Let's see. I see a couple of messages here. Let's see what y'all are chatting about. Oh, Charlie says, I've used deep relief in my bath as well as rosemary. Ooh, wow. That would be good. And I've used my diffuser while showering. Good job. All right, so let's talk about how to use oils around the house. It's a good time for that. We're kind of in spring cleaning mode and stuff. So sometimes you're not just applying the oil to your skin, but you're also applying it to objects that you're using. Sounds a little weird, but it's really useful. So here's some ideas. You can pour a whole bottle of geranium each month into your hot tub. And that's for soothing you. I've also heard that, do you know anything about that, Wendy? Pouring geranium into the hot tub. I've heard this for other uses, like for other purposes other than just like it's super relaxing and feels good.
I think that doing that I don't know. I think it's part of this relaxing. I don't know if that's one of the ones. Sometimes there's certain, depending on the system setup you have, you can use the oils in place of like what you normally would to disinfect and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Do a little research on that. So she was saying that you might be able to use some oils in the place of, like disinfectants for your hot tub, kind of watch out for that. Like go do a little research on that if that's something that you want to do. I think I've also heard that geranium is good for like whenever you are going to a public pool and it helps to pull out the chlorine. Is it geranium? Helps to kind of pull that out of your body. So just some things to go do some research on. Yeah. Other oils that you can put in a hot tub are like lavender, and lavender would be good for that disinfectant type of thing. Cinnamon also, clove also, eucalyptus. Wow. Can you imagine being in a hot tub with eucalyptus? Oh, it smells so good. Lemon and grapefruit. And while we're talking about hot tubs, if you ever go to one of the farms, the Young Living farms, especially I think it's the tree farm in northern Idaho, Highland Flats Tree Farm, they have hot tubs where they take the floral water and put it in the hot tub and you're like soaking in this floral water. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And of course, if it's at Highland Flats, it's probably one of the tree oils there. If you go the farm in Ecuador, they have like probably like ylang ylang ones, and that's pretty amazing. So if you see like a farm event, except for the Mona one, like what we have with convention, they don't really do that, but there are some others where you might get to have that experience. So I'd love to go all together to one of the farms and do that. Okay, so here's some other ideas. You can add oils like peppermint, lemon, clove, and cinnamon to water purifier. If you have a plastic water purifier, I don't necessarily recommend putting oils in there because it can start to draw out some of the plastics to start breaking some stuff down. But if you have something like a Berkey that's metal, that's a pretty good way to do that. Try adding purification to vase water to keep the flowers alive longer. And, it just kind of keeps it from getting all yucky. So add your favorite scent, like your favorite smell of oil to your dish soap, your Thieves dish soap. So just maybe throw in a little stress away or some joy whenever you have your grumpy kids washing the dishes or something. Maybe it'll work. I want to wash dishes, Mom. I feel joyful. Add a 5 ml bottle of oil to a gallon of paint as you're painting. Now, Wendy and I were talking about this a little bit, like, what's really the purpose of that? So, we were talking about the fact that some of it might help with like preventing mold in the paint when you're storing it. It also just like kind of is in the paint, so the room smells pretty good for a while. So you may want to do a little bit of research on that. Essential oils are not fatty oils like olive oil or coconut oil, so they're not going to leave marks on the wall when you paint. There's a different situation there. So once a month, put a drop or two of purification or Thieves in your washing machine or your dryer to keep it just nice and fresh. All right. Add your favorite scent or smell of essential oil to your Thieves laundry soap or the wool dryer balls. Just put it right in there. The wool dryer balls you can get on Amazon, or if you're super crafty, you can make your own. Go look online to figure out how that works. I have not made my own dryer balls yet. So it's really, really nice to put a comforter dried with like Valor oil or Thieves oil to have your dryer balls and have those on there with your comforter. And then when you pull it out, oh my goodness, it feels and smells so good. So okay, so this is kind of an interesting thing. Might make you scratch your head a little bit, like, because it's kind of weird, but clothing, just like humans, we've talked about frequency before, right? Our bodies have frequency, everything has a frequency. It's the way that everything is made. So clothing also has a frequency. And I haven't researched a whole lot into that, but I have friends, probably some people, definitely some people in this group who have really done some research on frequency of fabrics, and they have switched to more natural fabrics like cotton or linen or silk or wool over synthetic fabrics. I use leggings all the time because, I'm basically living in them since I started working out. So I wear them a lot, but they're synthetic material, and I'm not in love with that. The fact that they're synthetic material, we really forget that we have a heavy toll on our bodies because of exposure to a lot of things already. So that may be one more thing that you want to look into. It's kind of an interesting perspective, right? But there are other things that are probably, if you're really just getting used to this whole non-toxic living thing, there are other things that are going to be more important to focus on. So how about mopping your floors? When I mop my floors, I put like a cap full of Thieves cleaner into my mop water, and then I may put some oils into the mop water. I usually do, like every time, and use that to mop the floor. I like to put like orange or lemon oil in there. It smells so good. Or I might put something like on my hardwood floors, Northern Lights Black Spruce. It smells really good. It feels like you just walked into a forest. It smells so good. And my husband loves that. So one other idea is to put a clean cloth with several drops of essential oil into a collecting bag of your vacuum if you have a dry vacuum, and it'll diffuse nicely while you're vacuuming. If you have a water-based vacuum, you can put it into the water normally. So let's move on from around the house and talk about enhancing the benefits of essential oils We talked a little bit about, I briefly mentioned copaiba as an enhancing oil. There are other ways to enhance your essential oils. So the longer that essential oils stay in contact with your skin, the more likely they're going to be absorbed. So with that stated, it's actually wiser to use a carrier oil. I know a lot of people use a carrier oil. Oh, sorry, Charlie, I just saw your comment here. Do you put oil in the detergent slot? You can, but I usually just dump it right in the water. So you have any thoughts on that, Wendy?
I usually mix it with my laundry
Okay, so
detergent.
yeah, so if you have your detergent in a slot, 'cause mine doesn't have a slot, it just goes right in the top. I have a weird old thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have a slot, if you have a front loader, yeah, then put your detergent in, add your oils right there. So that works out pretty good. Okay, so going back over to the enhancing thing. So let's see, where was I? Okay, it's wiser to use carrier oil with your essential oil. I don't do it very often, but here's why. Most of us think that carrier oil actually slows down the absorption rate, but what it actually does is it serves a second purpose. It weighs down the oil until it enters your skin. We forget how volatile essential oils are. That means that they rise into the air pretty quickly. They escape the surface of the oil. And it's one reason why, like, when we're going to be talking about cooking with oils in a little bit, but the Vitality line is labeled for internal use. So this is one reason why cooking with them is not as effective as adding them right before you eat, like adding it right to your food right before you eat. The longer that they sit on the food, the more likely they are to escape into the air. And as you're cooking, it'll start to break down the therapeutic properties of the oil. So you're not getting a whole lot of benefit. So it's exactly the same thing when you're applying a carrier oil to the skin. You're slowing down the ability of the molecules to leap into the air by trapping them under the larger molecules of the carrier oil. If you feel like, if you don't want to slather oil, like olive oil, all over your skin each time that you want a topical application, there are alternative Young Living products that can be used. Some of my favorites are the rose ointment, animal sense ointment. Has that been available, the animal sense? I haven't checked lately. Okay, what is made for animals, we can use too. Sometimes we can say things about how we use things for animals that we can't necessarily say. Same applies to humans. So you just got some last month. Very good. So rose ointment, animal sense ointment, Genesis hand and body lotion, like any of the lotions, those work really well. Even the facial lotion. So, we can use, I often will use like my night lotion, which is a little heavier, my heavier moisturizing cream from Young Living. I like the Artline one, or there's another heavy one. Intensive moisturizing, something like that. Anyway, so the heavier ones, I'll put like frankincense in that and put it on my face. And I know that that's holding it to my skin because frankincense does a lot of great things for my aging face. So helps to reverse some effects. All right. So all of those are really good ways of getting more of the essential oil into your system. So you'll reduce the evaporation factor and enhance the penetration of the oil. So speaking of vitality, internal use oils, this is usually the big scary one. It's the one that scares the tar out of a lot of new oilers or people that haven't started yet. The question is like, oh no, you don't ingest oils. They totally freak out. Not every new oiler, okay, but there are people that totally freak out about this. It is the topic of the most controversy when it comes to essential oil. If you Google it, go Google it. You'll see a lot of posts for and against internal use. So let's kind of wipe away that fear. Let's talk about that. Okay, so on the slide here, you see the word GRAS. Well, that's an acronym. It means generally regarded as safe. So all of Young Living's Vitality line have GRAS status from the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. This essentially means that Vitality oils are approved as food additives. You can put them in foods and drinks and safely consume them at reasonable doses. Every grass oil has a well-documented history of safe use. For a food substance to meet the GRAS specifications, the following 4 criteria have to be met. You can see that on the slide here. The substance must be recognized as safe by experts. The experts must be well trained. Safety must be scientifically proven, and the FDA must know the intended use of the food. So if people ask you, are these FDA approved? Say they're GRAS approved, which is, you know, a requirement, an FDA designation. So it's an FDA approved designation. Okay, so more about this. When the GRAS experts go to evaluate the food additive like grapefruit vitality, when you're going to put that in your water, they work through a rigorous test set. So for an essential oil to reach the GRAS status, they look at toxicology. So at what strength does the essential oil become poisonous to a child? Even water can be toxic if you drink too much, right? So a toxicology test on water can be like at what point does it become toxic, right, for the body? Number 2, the organic chemistry, like what is the chemical makeup of the oil? The biochemistry, how will the chemistry of the oil interact with the chemistry of a human? Metabolism, what path does the oil take through the body and how is it absorbed? And then pathology, what illness or disease would be caused if a human were poisoned? So these are all the tests, the rigorous tests that these oils have to go through in order to pass the GRAS testing requirements. Okay, so how are y'all feeling about, if you even had like a little fear about using essential oils internally, how are you feeling about it now? The vitality oils are the white labeled oils. So we'll have like a lemon. We have 2 lemon oils. One of them has a solid label, yellow, and it says for external use and aromatic use, topical and aromatic use. So then we have the lemon oil with the white label that says it's for internal use. Guess what's inside? It's the same oil. We just had to label them differently because the FTC required it. They don't believe that all 3 uses are, you know, you can't have three uses on one label. So this doesn't make sense, right? Like if you put lotion on your body, you can't just eat that. All right, so how do we use essential oils internally? Keep in mind the only oils designated for safe use internally are the ones in the white vitality bottles. I cannot safely recommend other Young Living oils for internal use, although we do use oils off label a little bit, probably all the time. I taste almost every oil, but I'm not recommending it. Some of them don't taste very good. So my favorite way of using oils is as a balm or a bullet. That's a few drops of vitality oil in a veggie capsule. The capsules are sold on Young Living's website. They dissolve as a vegetable when they hit the gut, and the size is 00. So if you go and look for capsules, you'll see what size they are. 00 is very small, and it holds about 16 drops of oil. If your stomach has a hard time with the oil, try making the entire capsule with carrier oil first, like our V6 oil. Yes, you can use V6 internally. It'll dilute the oil so that when it hits your stomach, it'll make it a little bit easier for your body to break down. You can also take a veggie cap of oil with along with Ningxia Red or with a meal where the body released the hydrochloric acid to break it down more effectively. So like I would take it first and then have your meal, and it just kind of sits on top of it, and your body, you know, it'll start to break it down altogether. So it just kind of disperses it a little bit. So all of those methods have worked against like the burping up of essential oils and capsules, because that'll, you know, you might burp up flowers a little bit sometimes, and some people don't love that. I know my husband was taking some capsules and he's like, he's a truck driver. So he called me, he's like, I'm burping up flowers. Okay, well, you need to eat something. So here's a vitality recipe here that you may find beneficial. This is the adrenal support balm. How often to take that? Once a day. You can take that once a day. So 3 to 4 drops of each of the following go in the capsule: basil, peppermint, nutmeg. So I would start with once a day. If you feel like you want to increase it, then you can and see if that helps, make some changes. And I would take this one probably before bed. Have you used the adrenal support balm before? Okay, this is a Sarah Harnish thing. That's one of her favorite things to do. So, yeah. All right. So how about some fun recipes? Some other ways to use vitality oils. So you can take pictures of these if you'd like, so that you have something later to go back to. So morning dreamsicle, this is like a smoothie. You can actually put ice in it if you want, or just mix it up like this. So you have 2 scoops of vanilla pure protein complete, 8 ounces of water or milk or almond milk or whatever it is that you like to use, and then 5 drops of orange vitality. It's yummy. All right. How about a sunrise smoothie? This one you want to mix up frozen ice, so a cup of ice, a cup of berries. It can be any berries that you like. I like the stronger berries, like the cancer fighters. I like the raspberry and the blackberries and strawberries and those kind of things. So blueberries make it a little bit sweeter if you want it a little sweeter. You can add 4 tablespoons of raw honey, a half a cup of vanilla yogurt, 1 scoop of vanilla pure protein complete, 2 ounces of Ningxia Red, and 2 drops of tangerine vitality, and then just blend it into a smoothie. Super yummy. Let's see. Leslie, you're asking, how do you know if it's working? Okay. You would feel less stressed. You would, okay. Leslie, you're in the Rev Up group, right? I just did a video this evening, right before this, on sleep and weight loss. Go and watch that video and see, like, if that kind of answers your question. It was a really good one that I put together because I studied up on it. It's like, wow, that's really cool. So all of the effects that cortisol has on your body, you would start to reverse some of those effects when your adrenal balm is working. So another thing is, like, if you have adrenal fatigue, and this is something I talked about in that video, is that adrenal fatigue, like the sure sign of it is like whenever something really stressful comes up, and instead of like responding, you just like feel like you want to go to sleep, like you just like can barely hold your eyes open, and that is a adrenal fatigue response. So you would know this is working with adrenal fatigue if you kind of come out of that response a little bit, maybe not feel as tired, not feel as stressed, and that sort of thing. So really good question there. All right, I see Kim Marie and Lisa Wallace. Hi, glad you're here. Okay, other tips. So here's some more recipe ideas here. Oops, go back to, okay. So you can make Ningxia shots there. Oh, go do some research on Google. Go Google Ningxia shots and you'll find all kinds of fun shots. If you're going to convention, oh my gosh, my favorite place is to go to the Ningxia Red bar, and they literally have this whole bar with bartenders waiting for you to come over and order shots off the menu. Who's going? Who's going to convention? I dare you to ask for a bird balm. Write it down. You'll want to go get a bird balm and get a group of people together, go over there and get a bird balm for everybody. And then the bartender will know exactly what to do. It's so much fun. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. You have to experience it. So, Chillin' Ningxia shot. This one has 1 ounce of Ningxia Red, 2 drops tangerine vitality, and 2 drops of lime vitality. How about basting your meats? So this is something that you would like a post based, I guess, instead of before. You could try both ways, and see like how different it is. So you can baste it with basil, lemon, or black pepper vitality oils. Go easy on your oils. You're not going to put as much oil on there as you would dried herbs, okay? Or you won't be able to eat it. All right. Who likes to add cinnamon to your stuff? A drop of Thieves Vitality to hot chocolate or morning coffee. Yummy. I'm pretty sure this is something Wendy does. She likes her cinnamon, right?
It's yummy.
She adds cinnamon to shakes. Do you add them to shakes?
Yes.
Okay, what's
I
your
will.
favorite? We're gonna just ask right
I
here.
don't know.
What's your favorite shake that you use cinnamon essential oil with?
Anything.
Anything. That was easy.
No, it's good just with like the chocolate protein powder. I like to do chocolate strawberry and I'll add either orange or cinnamon to
Yeah.
those.
Yummy, yummy.
Tangerine. Yeah, they're just yummy.
Very good. And cinnamon, oh my goodness, cinnamon is so good for balancing um, blood sugar support. Yeah, it is really good for that. So, okay, before we get in trouble, let's go to the next slide here. All right. There is a cookbook. This cookbook is a chef's guide to cooking with essential oils. I just looked it up on Amazon. It is there. Sarah Harnish talked about it. She said that the guy that wrote this, Brian Pinking, I think it's Pickington, she said that he's a good friend of hers and she loves this book. So she uses this all the time. And it has an oil conversion chart. So, like going from dry herbs to oils. You might want to put that in your cart and possibly order it. So, if you are using dried herbs and you want to replace them with essential oils, then you can try using some of these, like herbs and spices. Some of the vitality herbs are basil, cinnamon, fennel, ginger, oregano, rosemary, and thyme. There's also like the vitality mint oils. Maybe you're doing some Mediterranean type recipes. You want to add some mint to it. Peppermint and spearmint are a couple of our oils. We also have the vitality citrus oils, which are great for like adding to fish and stuff. Just some lemon, lime, or grapefruit. And grapefruit is good for helping to helping your body to release fat. So we like to add that to our water. So, hey, I'm not a professional chef. We do have a member who's a professional chef. She is not on right now, but I bet she would have fun playing with these if she's not working 24/7. So it's a whole new world of experimentation. We've done some really creative things to pancake mixes, brownie batterns. Like you can just even if you get a boxed brownie mix, try adding 2 drops of peppermint oil to it. It's amazing. If you want to use orange oil, if you like brownies and orange, you're going to want to use a lot more, maybe like 10 drops to a mix. Hopefully you can taste it. So peppermint obviously is a lot stronger. Add it to baked breads, I know, or baked goods. I know Wendy has made breads that have cinnamon in it. She's had like mint in there, like chocolate mint or something. I think I remember her making that. Orange, there's just so much fun, so many things you can do. You can also add citruses to many dishes and drinks to just kind of splash up the flavor a little bit. You're just going to want to be careful. One of my first experiments was adding oregano to my spaghetti sauce. And I think I put like 2 or 3 drops in there and you could not even eat it. So oregano is so strong and concentrated, you may even need just a toothpick swirl, like put a little bit in there, mix it all up, and give it a taste. And then if you want to add some more, go ahead. Just take it easy. So if you're going to put oils in water, use a dispersant like Himalayan salt. Are anybody here using Himalayan salt in your water right now? I've noticed a lot of people have picked up that habit to start doing that. And so your oils will disperse easier instead of just sitting on the top if you have a little bit of salt. And you can put just a tiny pinch in there. It's not enough to change the taste of the water, but the oil molecules will cling to the salt crystals, or the salt molecules anyway, and gets dispersed throughout your drink. So that's one trick. So this book here is okay, we already talked about the book. Sorry. Go get the book. I'm going to get the book. All right. So we're going to talk about a different book because we're going to move over to emotions. Leslie, what is the effect of adding salt to the water? Okay, well, we talked about the reason for doing that with the essential oils to disperse them, but also it's supposed to be good for hydrating the body. So like balancing the electrolytes of the body, because if we're drinking a lot of reverse osmosis water, then we're not getting any minerals because there's no minerals in the water. So that can be one way to add some minerals back in. All right, let's talk about emotions. So far, we've hit on the aromatic, the topical, the eternal use. We have covered that in super deep depth through Fearless 1, 2, and now part 3. So let's talk about this topic before we wrap this up. And we're actually only about halfway through the presentation. So this one is one of the most commonly underused aspects of oiling. With permission, I want to give 2 quotes from this book. It's called Conquering Toxic Emotions. That's another one you may want to put on your Amazon shopping list, or if you don't like shopping at Amazon, you can shop somewhere else for it. So this is by Diamond Rhonda Fava. And here's the quote. Unresolved emotional experiences are recorded in cellular memory, DNA, and remain there as live programming until they are dealt with. These unresolved emotions can be stored anywhere within the human body. The definition of emotional is any feelings of joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or love, etc., and any strong agitation of the feelings are usually accompanied by certain physiological changes such as increased heartbeat or respiration, crying, and shaking. So there it is in print. Emotions may cause physiological changes. All right, here's a note from Sarah Harnish where she was talking about this. She said, I experienced this myself when I was in a near car accident about 2 years ago. My vehicle and the vehicle in front of me never touched, but the fear of what could have happened in a head-on collision at 60 miles an hour with all 5 of my kids in the car stuck with me. After 10 minutes, my heart was still racing, my palms sweaty, and I was lightheaded and delirious. There was a direct connection with the stress and memory of something that never even happened and a physical response from my body. Even now, when I think of that incident, my heart rate speeds up. Even years later, my body remembers it. So Rhonda goes on to say, you may experience stress, tension, anxiety, depression, chaos, and other negative feelings without considering how they affect you emotionally or physically. These negative feelings lower your body's frequency and the body's electrical system. This weakens the body's ability to fight off infection, sickness, and disease. Negative thinking can lead your mind into toxic thinking, which has a serious effect on your body. For those of you in Rev Up, we talk about your mindset all the time. And this is one of the reasons why. The science shows us that our thoughts can impact us physically. And for those of you that really study the Bible, there is information in there. There are scriptures in there that talk about how your feelings will affect you physically. So if you have a hard time letting things go, you can't seem to like shake off grief. Like years later, you have bad memories that haunt you, you're tormented by certain emotions. It may be worth looking into the feelings line. Like we have a feelings kit. The name of the oils are self-explanatory: harmony, release, inner child, forgiveness, present time, and valor. The ancient Romans used valor for bravery before heading into battle. This is where we got that oil blend from. So harmony in your diffuser, like before you start your day, like if you're homeschooling, that's a really good one for those of you that homeschool. But even not homeschooling, like before we used to do anything, we were all getting ready and there would just be so much stress. And so put harmony in your diffuser and see if that kind of calms some things down a little bit. Put forgiveness on your child's feet after you like break up a fight. Put forgiveness on their feet and have a heart to heart with them. So present time, what about present time? It helps you to keep your eyes focused on what's ahead. So if you're always thinking in the past, forgive yourself, release that, whatever happened in the past, forgive whoever, and then use the present time to think forward and what's going on right now and what you're getting ready to do. So instead of dwelling on old problems, that just seems sometimes we just seem to go around and around and keep coming back and it's always there. So use some present time to stay focused on that. My favorite use of this line is when I put oils on my feet, my hands, or my spine topically and diffuse them during the day. The smaller the room, the more concentrated the oil that'll fill it. So we're going to be talking more about feelings and the feelings kit. I think it's next week. Wendy's going to be teaching on that one. Okay, so this is kind of the beginning of the wrap up, but wrapping up kind of this topic. And for those of you that are here, actually, let me, I'll come back and check, but I want to make sure if you're here, tell me that you're still here because I'm going to send you a PDF file of some oils that I'm getting ready to show, like 78 ways to use the essential oils in like the most versatile essential oils. So yes, if you're on Zoom, I do see that you're here. It's on the, but that's okay because sometimes we have Zoom and you're not really there, right? You're like walked away or whatever. So I'll send those. So Charlie, Leslie, and I'll just send them on Messenger to you or something. And Cricket. And let's see who else is, and Becky. Hi, Becky. I'm glad you made it tonight. Okay. And so I'll see that even though the comments are running behind in the Facebook Live, then I'll see that a little bit later so I can see who was actually here. And sometimes you just pass through and then you're not really watching it. So I want to make sure I send it to those that are participating. So, because otherwise you may not want it. So, okay. I'll get to that in a moment, but I'll have the screen up so you're able to even take pictures of that. So let's wrap up a little bit on all of these topics that we were just talking about. So we've touched on aromatic, topical, internal, and now emotional oils, as well as as some supplements in your food. And that was just in a small space of time. So what are the rules? Well, let's rehash here a bit. If you get a headache, dilute or like if you get a headache from using oils because you're brand new at this and you start it goes in, it starts taking out the trash of your cells and you're just like, whoa, and you start feeling like a little woozy headache, just go outside and get some fresh air, drink some water, probably need to back off just a little bit until your body is able to detox a little bit more. So kind of go slow with that. What if you get redness on the skin? And these are some things we talked about in the very first Fearless presentation. So redness on the skin, use a carrier oil. If you don't notice any, like a change from what you're doing, you may not be using enough oil. So people often ask me the exact amount of oils to use. It really depends on your body chemistry and what you've been exposed to. So everybody is different. One day, 1 drop of lemon in your diffuser may smell strong to you, and the next 5 drops is like hardly enough. And you just keep putting it in there. So you just have to go with what your body wants. And I'll tell you, you must forget everything you know about dosage. We're so medically minded here where we think, okay, we need to know exactly how much. Dosage does not apply in the world of oils, the same, and not in the same way. So toxins, hydration, chemical exposure, stress, sleep levels, all are just some of the external factors that can throw your body off and affect the amount of oils that it wants. So every person is wired differently. What works for you may not work for your daughter. You may even find a recipe that works wonderfully the first time, and then you'll have to tweak it a little later. That's just normal because this is the way that natural things work. And you just never stop playing with it. So if you keep experimenting and keep playing, then you're going to find the answer that you're looking for, and you'll find it with the seed to seal ingredients list that you love, and you're not going to let it, it's not going to let you down. So what on earth do you do with this massive amount of information that was in this series presentations. Well, first of all, you probably didn't absorb everything, and that's okay. That's why I have it on the YouTube channel. If you need help finding the YouTube channel, message me and I'll send you the link. We have all of the Wellness Wednesday presentations right there, so you can, take your time and go through it. You'll probably learn something new every time you go through it. Like, I didn't remember that the first time. So what we've given you here in the Fearless presentation, the 3-part series, is like 150 years of aromatherapy all tucked into these 3 presentations. So it can be intensely overwhelming, and you do not have to know all of it. So my advice is to start slow if you're brand new at this. Okay, Stacy, I see that you want to get the PDF. Start slow, start small, low and slow. Start where you're most convicted. If it's the toxins in your home, start pulling out the toxins and replace it with the Thieves cleaning products. If it is like you have health issues that are going on, start working on those. If you have weight issues, like most of us do, there's so many causes of those, and we can have this whole pile of health conditions. And some people will come to me like, I've got this and I've had this and this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, let's start with the foundation. How do we raise the foundation? Start with your Ningxia Red, and that will like lift the foundation. And then start changing your diet, like go into the Rev Up program and start learning how to do some of those things. There's mindset, there's food, there's a little movement, there's all kinds of stuff that will help really raise that foundation, drop out inflammation, all kinds of stuff. And then what you're left with is just a few things here and here that you now need to focus in on to work some of those things out. And then you don't have this overwhelming amount of things to tackle. So start small and where you're most convicted right now. And the information is always going to be there. You can go back and find it later and learn it later. Okay, so the first goal is to use what you already have. Break open the bottles. Like if you got when I first got my premium starter bundle, I didn't know what to do with it. And all I had to do was go and open up the bottles. There were a few that I knew how to use because that was the reason I got the bundle. But there were some that I just kept putting away, and Valor was one of them because I didn't know what to do with it. So you may find when you open a bottle that you're going to fall madly in love with it. That's what happened when I opened Valor. I'm like, whoa, why haven't I been using this? What's it for? It smells so good. So I realized that it was really good for calming, and then a lot of other things, which we'll talk about in a minute. You may open a bottle of another oil and just like hate it, then put it in your diffuser and it totally changes your mind. So you'll always have the videos to rewatch on this. Okay, so the 78 ideas for premium starter bundle oils, we're not going to go through all of these because we're on a bit of a time limit here. But take a picture of it, and this is what I'm going to send out to you in the PDF. This is just page 1, so there's 2 pages. And some of these, they're just like stimulating, soothing. But then there's other ones in here that are like, this is really good for immune support. This is one that is good for getting sticky goo off. Here's one that's great for crowds of people because maybe you don't like crowds of people so much. Okay, so that's page 1. And then here's page 2. Go ahead and take a snapshot of that. And if you miss this, just let me know and I'll just, I'll send it over to you either way. Okay. All right. So we're still wrapping up. So what's next? So you have a big playground ahead of you. There's just so much to try, right? I hope that you have already started trying some things. And also don't be afraid to ask something that I hesitate sometimes because I'm like, I know I should know this. I'm going to just go look for it. And then I don't find it. And then I just give up. Just ask. It's okay if you've asked 20 times. Just ask. If somebody has it like right in their brain, then they can pull it out for you because it takes a while for us to get some of these things down. So here's another note from Sarah Harnish for you. She said, I hold several certifications in aromatherapy. However, when I stood next to Gary Young, I felt like a toddler. I watched him pick up an oil blindly and name its constituents. He was always spot on. His knowledge of chemistry was astounding. It was like the Lord spoke directly to him on how to blend oils. I used to love to call him the oil whisperer. So she was good friends with him. When presented with multiple oils, my olfactory senses became somewhat confused. I would mistake peppermint for eucalyptus. So when, and Gary would know all the differences between those. So here's the deal. There will always be someone who knows more than you. There will always be another book to read, even an aromatherapy library, in your home. I have one in my home, pretty much like just a whole collection. And even with all of that, I personally still feel like I know less than 1% of what there is to know out there. So here's a quote from Albert Einstein. He says, "I don't need to know everything. I just need to know where to find it when I need it." And that's the truth. So we talked about, I told you that I was going to tell you how to become an expert. How does that look? How does it look? Let me tell you what I do know about how not to feel overloaded. I pick a different thing to try at least once a week. So all those oils that you're getting for free from Young Living with your loyalty rewards order, try one of them a week. Go look it up, learn about it. Try, it only takes like 15 seconds, right? To grab the oil, open it up, put it in your hand, smell it, maybe apply it and see what happens or what you like about it. So you can make up a blend with it. You can add the oil to your diffuser. Try making a face serum or something. We're always posting recipes like that. The bottom line is that if you miss a week or two, don't beat yourself up. Just pick back up when you can breathe. There's no one watching you and your growth but you. So here's a couple of other ideas. Try layering a couple of oils, snag a recipe off of the Young Living blog and play around. The Young Living blog, if you haven't been there, is so good. There's so much great information. Most of what I learned never came from the aromatherapy certifications that I got. It came from getting the oils on my body and the bodies of my friends and my family around me. It came from being around people who loved oiling. That's where we got all the stories. I'm still in touch with like cross-line people that just like, okay, what are you doing for this? Tell me your stories. What's going on? And it's so much fun to share stories like that. It came from trying all of their new ideas, came from listening to their stories. And you know what? In the Strictly EO Facebook group, when we first started that, people were so in there sharing stories. And now, we don't have much sharing anymore. I would love to see y'all go in there when you've used an oil and you've discovered something about it. Go into the group and share. That's what it's supposed to be for, so that we can all kind of learn from each other. Because when I hear a story, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could use it like that. Let me try. So it may be the solution for somebody that they've been looking for. So always go and share. I have to believe that this is exactly how knowledge of oils was passed along from the biblical times. Like, how did they know? They didn't have chemistry labs to figure out what did what and stuff. It wasn't from experts with all sort of degrees back then. It was from human to human, mother to daughter, friend to friend. You learn the oil by being connected and listening. So now you've had some of my stories that I've shared in these 3 presentations, and some of the other ladies that have come in and done the presentation, and gentlemen. We had Todd, who is an excellent presenter. I love listening to him. So you have all these stories now in your arsenal that you can share with people around you. Now, when we meet, then you tell me things that I've never heard of nor read in any book, because the wisdom that the Lord and your personal experience has given you passed to you through, just playing with your oils that are sitting on your shelves. You don't have to know like exactly what to do. Just try them. No one knows it all. No one. So stop putting that kind of pressure on yourself. Stop feeling like you need to know every bit of knowledge. The knowledge is in the oils. It's in your body. Both of them know what to do, whether you can articulate it or not. The only mistake that you can make is leaving the oils on your shelf unopened and never using them. However, because we live in a place of fear, too many of us are doing that one thing that's going to keep us from a lifetime of learning. So what is the worst thing that can happen? Maybe you put a blend together that doesn't smell very good. I've done that. My son has done it because he likes to dump oils like the Swedish chef into the diffuser and turn it on. I'm like, whoa, what did you just put in there? Well, okay, that was a weird blend, right? So here's a pro tip. Add 20 drops of any single citrus oil. Like if you do this, add 20 drops of a single citrus oil into your concoction that smells really bad, and you can fix just about any blend. So that way you don't feel like you're having to waste it. So what's another bad thing that can happen, or what's another worst thing that can happen? Maybe you get like a warm sensation on your arm. You put some hot oils together and you didn't realize they were hot, and it's like, oh, that's kind of burny. Then just put a carrier oil on it, right? It's gonna be okay. Maybe you feel like you made a mistake, or you're afraid of the oil again. That might be something. Maybe you rub your eyes with peppermint on your finger or oregano. That hurts really bad, and it's okay. Put your carrier oil in your eye or whatever, and just stop fearing what you have and start using it. The oils are a true blessing. So by using them, I feel a little bit closer to God, who created these oils for the health of our bodies. He created them before we were placed on earth. So, or before he made man. He'll tell you what you need. Pray about it. Okay. I also want to make a point. I also make a point each month to try a new oil that I've never used. So there are a lot of oils, right? There are over 83 single oils from Young Living and 81 blends. That's a lot. There's 6 massage oils, I think there's about 4 roll-ons now. They kind of, sometimes we get some that we haven't had in a while or something. And then there's like at least 12 different oil collections. So if you add all of that up and you tried one new oil a month, then you're going to take 15.4 years or so to try them all. So never be afraid to try new things. Just dive in. Okay, here's another little tip from Sarah. Let me see how we're doing with our time. Okay, we have another meeting at 7:30, but these fearless ones, they go about an hour and a half each. So we're getting close. We have one more slide after this, so you know where we are. All right. So from Sarah, she says, my first goal when I got my starter bundle was to double my oils collection as fast as I could. We'd had the oils for a week and had already seen it work on our family over 80 times. I wanted to get as many oils as possible in my home. However, I only had $20 a week to live on after our mortgage, gas, utilities, food, and debts were paid. So I got the cheapest thing I could find, the Golden Touch collection. I didn't even know what it did, but I knew I wanted all of the oils. That collection has 7 oils in it for about $90 wholesale. So that's just a little over $12 a bottle. The only thing that's cheap on Young Living's site are their vitality oils. In a month, I'd nearly doubled my collection just with that one collection. And I had 7 new oils to try affordably. So another tip that I can give you is that to get some new products into your home, or to get new products into your home, is to consider sharing the oils. We're sharing stories of what we're experiencing. And, even if your goal is to only build up the oils, like cover the cost of your oils, build up the oils in your stash, get your kids on Ningxia Red every week, you're going to fall madly in love with the oils, and you're going to start swapping things in your home. So you can, start sharing with other people about what you're doing. Okay. And also you never know if something that you share with somebody is going to change their lives. And to hold that back from somebody, like you don't realize, but whenever somebody will eventually come to you and say, thank you so much for sharing that. You were brave, and I appreciate you stepping out to share that with me. It made a big difference for me. I've seen it, and I've been grateful that I have gotten out of my comfort zone and just shared it. All right, so to continue experimenting with all your new oils, here are a few fantastic resources. You want to take a picture of this for recipes that can get you started and oiling with a purpose. I mentioned the blog. It's called the Young Living Lavender Life blog. This blog has actually won awards. It is here. I'll put it in the chat on Zoom anyway, but you can easily go Google search that. It is youngliving.com/blog. That's a super easy web address. Okay, the Young Living YouTube channel has some pretty good stuff on it. It is the best channel on YouTube. It's much better than mine. But really, they have some great videos on there. Okay, the Young Living Training and Education Facebook page. There's another one a book called French Aromatherapy. This was by she was a Young Living Gold when she wrote it. Her name was Jen O'Sullivan. She's, yeah, so she wrote that back then, and it's still around. That's a pretty good book. Conquering Toxic Emotions, which we talked about. Gentle Babies is a really good book. This one was written by our upline Royal Crown Diamond, who's just a few levels up from us. Her name is Deborah Starkey. It might have Deborah Rayburn probably still in the book. So it is for those of you that, if there's anybody just raising kids, this is an excellent book for you. It's like the best. Okay, it's the best for kid stuff and pregnancy and all of that. So if you have a friend that is having a baby shower or something, that is a really good gift. And you could give like a little bottle of Gentle Baby. That is an essential oil blend, Gentle Baby. It's really calming. All right. There's another book called There's an Oil for That, A Girlfriend's Guide to Using Essential Oils Between the Sheets by Young Living Platinum Lucy Libido. Don't worry, it's totally G-rated, and it is an excellent book for balancing hormones and emotions and, just intimacy. And then the Chemical Free Home 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure that's still available. She has a different one. Yes, her name is Melissa Pepping. You can do a search for Melissa Pepping, Young Living. Do a Google search for that. She has the Chemical Free Home type books. She had kind of revamped them, and there are a lot of DIY type things in there. They're topic based, so there's one for home cleaning. There's one for, I don't know. She has some that are also perfume and cologne making, so you're not putting. You can see if Thrift Books has a used copy. Yeah, for the Chemical Free Home, you can go look for used copies. But she does have some other books, so go and look up her stuff. Those are really good books too. All right, my friends. Well, that is the conclusion of Fearless, our presentations here. So how to play with your premium starter bundle. This is the place to start. So now enjoy playing with those oils drop by drop, and just keep digging deeper. We have future classes coming up. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here. We have future classes coming up, and they are in the Strictly EO group. So let me see what we have, because I didn't make any slides for those. For the Rising Stars, our brand partner group, we have a whole long list. So if you know one of the Rising Stars, you can ask them. That's Charlie and Becky Claxon, and Meg is in there. Amy Mantooth, Cricket is in there. We have a few of them. You can let us know if you have questions. But what we have coming up, yes, is the feelings class next week with Wendy. She's going to be doing the feelings class, hopefully. Yes. Okay. On Sunday, March 17th, for those of you that are local to San Antonio, we're doing the March Wellness Club. And I haven't even updated you yet on the Business Blitz portion. We're going to have a special guest come in on Zoom. So that Business Blitz is going to be streamed live. Watch out for an event that I will post. It's going to be streamed live with Steve Sheridan, our Platinum. Steve and Nancy are our Platinum uplines right above me. And he was a Dave Ramsey, what do you call them? Those, like, he was certified Dave Ramsey coach, financial coach. Yeah. And so he's going to talk to us on how to like do your taxes and get good write-offs. So why to have a home-based business, like the tax benefits of home-based business. That's what we're going to call it. Okay. So he's going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how to build a business with RevUp. And then also what I want you to do for those coming in person. Those two parts will be on live. For those coming in person, if you haven't gotten all of the toxic household cleaners out of your house, bring those over to my house, and I will have a box. I'm going to take them to hazardous waste. I have some that I pulled out of a chemistry cabinet from my homeschool chemistry classes. We did use some of those substances for chemistry. Didn't use them in my home, but I've cleaned all of those out. They're in a box and they're ready to go to hazardous waste. So I want you to bring your products, your Clorox, your 409, your Ajax. So do they still have Ajax or Comet or something like that? I don't even know what's out there. The laundry detergents that are like super high fragrance and all of that stuff. Just bring them all over, and you don't have to feel bad about it because I will take it to the proper place, the proper way to dispose of it. So that is all on March 17th. And the Wellness Club, I don't remember what the topic is for the Wellness Club. That was, spring cleanup. Okay, so that's what that's about. We're going to talk about spring cleaning. All right, next Wellness Wednesday on March, the next Wellness Wednesday after that on March 20th is going to be the gut class, which Wendy will be teaching again. She is like an authority on that topic. It is such a good topic. On March 21st, Young Living Corporate will have the Experience YL Good Day. I think they changed the name of that to like some spring something. So that's something that is virtual. Just go into the event section of the Strictly EO group and go watch that. Be a part of that. I think you have to register, so you need to go register for that. Okay, and then the following Wellness Wednesday is going to be on supplements. That'll be what I'm teaching. That was one of those areas where I was just like, why use these supplements? I was trained on traditional supplementation and I didn't understand what was so good about Young Livings. So I'll be talking about that then. All right, my friends. Well, thank you again for being here. I will get that product credit out to you, Stacy. And thanks for sticking around. Hey, if you have start experimenting with your oils and you come up with some neat things, go post it in the Strictly EO group. We want to see your posts. That's how we help each other. All right, my voice is about done. I've been talking your ear off for an hour and a half. All right, y'all have a great night.